Yeah. And obviously going from having a really long career, very corporate career, into doing something, yourself, you said that you very much had like a clean sheet. So I guess what were the foundations then of the business that you decided to build?
Yeah, so the nice thing, I mean, the Towery Law was a great firm to work for, and it was a huge learning experience for 15 years. So it picked up an enormous amount of knowledge about the clients, about how to deliver financial planning. But starting afresh, you get the opportunity to either go and join another corporate and do the same thing again, or to start your own thing. And I decided, along with my wife, that we would set up a new firm, which is Altor, that we're running at the moment. And so the nice thing about starting out is you have there's nothing that you have to do outside of regulation. Obviously, you've got to stay within the boundaries that the FCA expects. But actually, beyond that, you can start with a completely clean sheet of paper. We did exactly that. We sat down and said, okay, how do we think we would want to be advised and charged and dealt with as clients? So from a client perspective, what do we think is the right way of running the business? And then also, how would we ideally like to run the business from the business perspective as well as the clients? So that's great as an academic exercise to do with your crayons and your pad of blank paper. Obviously, implementing that is harder, but we decided from the outset that we wouldn't take any percentage charging at all. So we would only operate on a flat fee basis. So we have a monthly subscription that's the same monthly subscription for everyone, essentially. And we make that very clear on our website. So we're like a Netflix subscription, and all the other subscriptions we're all paying for now. Everyone's paying monthly for everything. You can get your razors delivered for a monthly subscription now. So we decided that was important from a client point of view, because we just felt that was fairer, that everyone paid the same amount and got the same service rather than any cross subsidies. So that was an important thing for us. We also decided, which was very easy to do when we didn't have any income coming into the firm, we decided that we'd give away 10% of our gross income, so before any tax or deductions, to charity. And to facilitate that, we set up the Altor Foundation. So it's our own charitable foundation that runs alongside the business. As I say, giving away 10% of income when you haven't got any income is easy. And we knew psychologically, if we set it up from day one, then it's a little bit like boiling the frog. We were boiling ourselves, essentially. We knew that we'd be able to carry on doing that if that was what we were doing from the get-go. Whereas obviously much more difficult to introduce that at a later stage. So that was very important from our perspective. We set up as a partnership as well, so we were flexible and we made sure that we were completely independent. So the evolution of Towery Law, it had started out as an independent financial advisor when I first joined, and then it had brought a lot of what it did in-house. So ultimately, it was running investments itself in-house. We felt, starting again, that we didn't want to do that. We wanted to be able to have clients approach us and have a range of solutions that we could offer them, rather than just saying, well, this is, whatever your question is, the answer is one of our 5 in-house models, which is unfortunately it's the most common way of doing things in our industry now. So yeah, some quite big decisions on day one, which we've stuck with all of. And the nice thing about that is that tying all of that together then in 2020, so about 3 years into the firm, we went for our BCorp status, because we thought actually that's a really good way of tying all of those aspects together and just really testing whether we were doing as well as we could be, I guess.